Hey everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning back into Relevant Jukebox, and today I'm back with another installment in my vinyl collection series going over the entire thing, 10 random records at a time. So I hope everyone had a good holiday. We're ringing into the new year here in 2021, so I'm back with a fresh batch of records. Let's just get right into these things. So we're going to start off today with the legend, rest in peace, MF Doom. This is DangerDoom, The Mouse and the Mask. Really devastating that MF Doom passed away, that we found out New Year's Eve, but he passed away on Halloween, which is kind of crazy. Just, you know, an absolute legend that changed my life. My favorite MC, actually, favorite rapper. This wasn't my favorite album of his, but it's just one that I grabbed to show. And this is an original pressing. This is the first one through Lex Records. I know it's been reissued since. And if you had not seen this release, it has some stunning artwork, some really cool, like, I don't know what you call this, like fractal art or something like that, on the inner sleeves that looks amazing. You know, you got 4 different colors that you can alternate. Here's the second one, and it goes with the see-through jacket. So you could do 4 different colors here, which is really cool, really nice touch on this release that I believe they did on the reissue as well. And then here's like a little insert that it came with. And it's got the lyrics on the back, very small print there, but really cool, really good stuff. And the vinyls themselves, it's a double LP, but it's on standard black, and it's got really nice labeling, as you might expect as well. And here's the other one. I'm considering putting out some kind of video on MF Doom, not really quite sure what it's going to be yet. But if you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comment section down below. But all right, next up here is one that I recently got in the mail, a newer release, Declan McKenna's Zeros, one of my favorite records from last year. Really good, awesome, like classic rock flavored album. If you're a Bowie fan, this might catch your ear. And this guy's pretty young, you know, I think he's a good songwriter. Here's the gatefold here, pretty cool artwork going on. And yeah, I don't know, I think the future could be bright with this guy. You know, hopefully his follow-up to this album is as solid as this one. I missed out on the limited pressing that looked amazing. It's like some like cosmic purple swirl. This is just a standard black. It's a nice thick pressing though. It feels like it's 180 gram. But yeah, the limited one looks like that labeling right there, which is really cool. But you know, I'm happy just with the standard pressing as this is for playing purposes. Next up is another one I recently just got in the mail that I'm really psyched about from That Dog, Totally Crushed Out, a stone cold rock classic from the 90s that I feel like not as many people talk about. I mean, I know it's known, but you know, this doesn't get as much attention as like the Breeders and stuff, but if you're a Breeders fan and you haven't heard this album, oh my God, you're in for a treat. I mean, this is like gold right here. This album is amazing. And this was a reissue. Actually, I think it's the first time this was on vinyl. And it was put out by the lovely people at Third Man Records. You know, Jack White. He knows his rock music, obviously. Here's the inner sleeve. It's got some credits on there, some thank you notes from the band, all that good stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, this is just a black vinyl here. Yeah, I believe it's just a nice... It's thick, though. This has got to be 180 gram. I didn't really look up the, you know, info on it, but standard black, nice classic labeling on it, and this is done from Third Man, so you know it's going to sound amazing. I actually just opened this up, so I haven't put it on the turntable yet. I don't know what it sounds like, but I can only expect great things from Jack and Company. Moving along here, I have a collaboration from 2 legendary experimental electronic artists from the modern day, Daniel Lopatin and Tim Hecker on Instrumental Tourist. This is a great record. One that, you know, I don't know. I feel like I don't hear people talk about as much. I mean, again, it's out there. People know about it, but maybe not the strongest work from either one of these artists, but it's still a pretty rare occasion that you have these 2 heavyweights teaming up on a release here. Double LP, you know, some cool, you know, artwork on the sleeves there. It's kind of interesting. This is just a black vinyl, so I'll just show you one of them. It's double LP there, but there's the labeling. But yeah, I mean, if you're interested in some experimental electronic music that is pretty mind-bending, ambient-leaning, you know, this is going to be one of the ones you're going to want to look up. Obviously, knowing both of these artists and you hadn't heard this yet, definitely check it out. Next up, Atlas Sound, Logos. Love this album. This is Bradford Cox of Deer Hunter fame, his solo project, Atlas Sound, if you are unfamiliar. And it is on par with Deer Hunter material, for sure. This album is amazing. There's some really interesting collaborations on here too. Noah from Animal Collective is on one of these tracks, Panda Bear, on Walkabout. That's a really cool song. Sheila, My Halo, Kid Climax, Washington School. There's some bangers on this album over here that, again, Bradford, when he hits, he really hits. Cool inner sleeve here. Lyrics, stuff like that. But when I caught Deer Hunter, Atlas Sound opened up for Deer Hunter the last time I saw them, and he played some new material that was like insane. It was like really good. It sounded like Deer Hunter mixed with like Kid A. I just want that to be released, please, because it was really, really awesome. Here's the record, just black vinyl, nothing too special, but a must-have if you are a Bradford Cox stan like myself. Next up is a modern-day hip-hop classic in my book, and that is Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon 1. Yeah, this record is one of the records that kind of changed my life when I first discovered it back when I was in college. What is there to be said about it that hasn't already been said? I think it's pretty innovative. Love this Kid Cudi album still to this day. Here's the gatefold. You got the picture of Cudi there. Unfortunately, since then, I haven't really connected with any of his material outside of like Man on the Moon 2. But it is what it is. I think he's laid down enough of a footprint at this point to put him in the legendary status for at least a little bit. If Nas is there with one good album, then you can put Kid Cudi there. And here's the album. It's, got some pretty minimal labeling, but it looks like the moon, which is kind of cool, or space. And yeah, they're both black vinyl, so I won't bother showing you the other one. But yeah, this is just one that, I think is a must-own for my collection, at least, and the history I had with it. Next up here is a fun single from New Order, Blue Monday. And I say a fun single because this has got some really cool packaging. I feel like it was really innovative for back in the day when this was released, but it looks like a floppy disk. So it's really cool. It's like a die-cut sleeve. And, the record comes out the side, and it looks like a floppy disk. It's really cool. I had to have it, even though, obviously, I have Power, Corruption, and Lies. But this was just too cool not to pass up for, I think I paid, $10 for this. And it's got a different version of Blue Monday on here. I believe it's got the extended dance remix, which, if you want to have a couple drinks, put that on, you're going to have a good time. The record is kind of dirty, but, this is just a cool collector's piece, honestly. Love me some New Order, obviously. Next up here, I have Kelly Moran, Ultraviolet. This is a cool record that came out a couple years ago. Kelly Moran is like a classical pianist, and this came out on Warp Records, actually. Mainly because, she kind of makes the piano sound like glass, or at least unlike anything that I've heard in contemporary music. Maybe I'm just not well-versed in it, I don't know, but it sounds really cool to me. Here's the gatefold here. But yeah, this is kind of like a relaxing listen. It's also kind of like one of those turn your brain on type listens, as a lot of it's pretty abstract. But, I like this record. I think it just sounds pretty nice. Really looking forward to see how she's going to follow this up. Standard black over here. Very nice, clean labeling. Really crisp pressing here. It sounds really good. So, definitely suggest checking this record out if you're interested in classical music or just electronic music in general. Next up is a 10-inch of Joyce Manor's second record, Of All Things I Will Soon Grow Tired. This is a great album. I feel like when this dropped originally, people hated it, and I could see why. It's a lot more experimental than any of their other material. Here's the back here. But this one over time has kind of grown on me and kind of revealed itself to be one of the better ones in the catalog. I really appreciate the risks that they took on this, and they cover Video Killed the Radio Star, and it's the best track or one of the best tracks. So yeah, Joyce Manor is still a punk band that I feel like goes under the radar or underappreciated slightly, but is one of the only ones that really held up over time for me back when I was really enthralled in this scene. Because they write good songs. That's what it comes down to. They write really solid songs, really good hooks. Here's the inner sleeve here. Now, this was a limited release from Big Scary Monsters out of the UK, and this is a really cool looking one. It's pink with white splatter. and I believe this was limited to 150 copies. So this is very limited. And what's cool about it is it has the entire short LP just on the one side. So you could just play this front to back, not have to flip it over, which is awesome, which is why I keep it. I love it. This is a great record. And rounding out this batch of records for a vinyl update is the debut of Flasher, Constant Image. Now here's like a post-punk, kind of shoegazy flavored band that was signed by Domino. And this came out a couple years ago, I think in 2018. It's a pretty solid album. I mean, it probably won't blow you away if you're into post-punk, but it's really good. I think they write some really catchy tracks, and it has like an interesting like vibe overall to it. It's almost like you're looking through like, you know, an old VHS tape of like some home videos, and it's like a good memory or something like that. I don't know, but I like this album. I actually caught this band opening up for the Breeders, surprisingly. I had no idea who they were. I was just there to see the Breeders. I bought a ticket like last minute, and I caught their set, and I was really glad that I did. It's like why I ordered this album. So, really fun. And this is a limited press, and it looks unbelievable. It is like a starburst pressing here. I mean, one of the coolest looking albums that I own. I mean, it's got pink and like orange and yellow all in like, you know, a soup on here. And it looks unbelievable. It matches the cover art. And, you know, I think this was only like $18 on Domino. I mean, I can't even believe it. But it's one of the coolest looking albums that I own. And one that I suggest trying out if you're interested in post-punk. All right, so that is going to do it for this installment of my vinyl collection series. I will be back with another one as I have 10 more records to show you. And yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Stay safe out there this new year in 2021. I appreciate everyone that watches. Make sure to like and share. And if you want more content from me, hit that subscribe button. Peace.